Unit 6. Evaluation and Reflection. This presentation is aimed at anyone who will be running a reading group or helping students to use this library, or anyone teaching literacy and reading skills. This may be a student, teacher, parent, or volunteer. The activities and worksheets will be useful to all schools and all teachers of Nepali and English, not only in the context of library reading groups. The aims of the presentation are to explain how to use the Library Nepal worksheets included in this unit, to provide advice and suggestions for how to use and adapt these sheets to suit your needs, to instill confidence and provide inspiration so that group leaders feel empowered to make the best use of their library sessions. Unit 6 is quite different from the previous 5 units, so it is advisable to listen to all of the slides in this presentation. You could also revisit the relevant slides prior to leading each session to remind yourself of key information. Unit 6 is for evaluating the success of library activities, for reflecting on how the students feel about the library, and for recording the progress the reading groups have made. It focuses on confidence using the library, feelings about reading and library resources, and new skills and knowledge developed. This review involves optional teacher evaluation, reading champion evaluation, and reading group self-reflection. The unit consists of a progress tracker spreadsheet for the reading champion or a member of staff, a worksheet for reading champions to fill out, and a worksheet for reading champions to lead a reflective session with their reading groups. This presentation will give you an overview of each part of the unit, with a list of necessary equipment and some extra information. The activities in this unit cover a range of skills, including group, discussion, writing and drawing. They include working in pairs and as a group. These activities are signposted by the icons that you can see on screen. The icons indicate the suggested way for using the activity, but this is not necessarily the only way. Most of the activities can be adapted in any way that you choose. For example, writing activities can be done as speaking activities if you don't have writing materials. Pair work can be done as a whole group. Whole group discussions can be done in pairs. The icons are there as guidance, so think about what will work best in your own situation and feel free to be creative. The star icons are particularly important, as they mark out helpful tips that will support you when leading the sessions. How to use this unit. The unit includes a one-sided worksheet with group reflection activities, a reading champion evaluation worksheet, and a progress tracker. Where possible, print out some copies of the worksheets. The reading champion can write directly onto their worksheet for each reading group. If possible, the progress tracker can be downloaded to a computer and filled in by the reading champion or a member of staff. However, don't worry if this is not possible. You could display the worksheet on screen if you have access to a computer, display the worksheet on a mobile phone and show the students, write up the activities on a large chalkboard or whiteboard. The Reading Champion worksheet could be copied onto paper or a whiteboard or chalkboard and filled in by the Reading Champion. The progress tracker can be printed out and each question answered with a yes or no. If this is not possible, you could copy out the questions and write the answers next to them. You don't have to print things out. or even have the activities on screen in the library. Use these resources for ideas. Remember them, tell others about them, and use the ideas. If resources are scarce, any of the writing or drawing activities can be done as group discussion activities instead. Students can tell stories rather than writing them down, or describe what they would draw. The activities are flexible and can be adapted to suit the availability of resources in your library or school. Remember, you can download all of the resources at any time and store them on any device, a computer, a local network, or your own phone, by going to www.library-nepal.com. Additionally, remember that all the resources are free of copyright, so you can copy any of the ideas, pictures, and activities in resources that you might want to create yourself. The aim of Library Nepal is to inspire you to exploit your library to the full, so that you can inspire others. The Progress Tracker. The Progress Tracker is an Excel spreadsheet. It is designed to be filled in by a reading champion or a member of staff, and consists of a number of questions relating to the aims for each unit. There is a drop-down list next to each question for you to select yes or no. This will allow you to record progress and skills learned quickly and easily. The Progress Tracker can be copied, printed out, or copied onto paper or a chalkboard. You can have one tracker for each reading group in your school if you would like. If you answer no to a question in the Progress Tracker, or a session didn't go well, you could ask another reading champion for help or ideas. Not all sections will apply to every group, so choose what is relevant. The questions about Units 2 to 5 relate to the activities in each unit. The questions focus on skills the reading group members have learned. An example of the type of questions for these units is: can most reading group members find Nepal in an atlas? The questions about Units 1 and 6 are slightly different as they are evaluative. The questions for Unit 1 relate to setting up the reading groups. An example question is: does the reading champion know the library rules? The questions in Unit 6 allow you to evaluate the overall success of the reading group and use of the library in general. An example question is: have most reading group members become more confident discussing their ideas and opinions? The Reading Champion Evaluation Sheet. This sheet is designed for reading champions to evaluate their experience of leading a reading group and using the library. The reading champion should give the completed sheet to the member of staff responsible for the library. It can be used to help plan future reading group sessions. If you would like, you could also send reading champion feedback to info@librarynepal.com. For this session, the reading champion will need something to write on and something to write with. For example, some paper and a pen or pencil, a chalkboard and chalk, or a whiteboard and pen. They will also need a copy of the worksheet. If this isn't possible, the worksheet could be talked through with the member of staff responsible for the library. Questions 1 to 5 on the evaluation sheet are multiple choice questions. The reading champion should tick one box after each question to give feedback on a favourite unit, activity type, and book. Question 4 allows the reading champion to influence future reading group sessions by requesting what type of activity he or she would like more of. This will enable future library sessions to develop in line with which activity types that are most effective. Questions 6 and 7 allow the reading champion to evaluate his or her own experience leading the reading group and to communicate this to the person responsible for the library so that they can develop and shape future library programs accordingly. Reading Group Reflection Activities Worksheet. The Reading Group Reflection Activities Worksheet is designed for the reading champion to lead a session with the reading group, just like the other worksheets in Units 2 to 5. It will allow the reading group members to reflect on their experience of the reading group and using the library, and on what they have learned. For this session, the group will need a selection of books from the library and at least one worksheet per group. They may also need something to write on, something to write with, and coloured pens or pencils. If this isn't possible, the writing activities can be done as group discussions instead. Activity 1 is a group activity in which the reading champion asks a series of questions to the students, and they demonstrate their answers by raising their hands. These questions centre around the students' feelings. Are they more confident about using the library now? Are they more excited about reading now? The reading champion could follow up on these questions by asking each student to explain his or her answer in more detail. Activity 2 is a discussion activity in which the students take it in turns to share what their favourite activities have been. The reading champion might need to remind the students of the different types of activity they have done, for example, using maps, clapping rhythms in poetry, and talking about favourite stories. In Activity 3, students are encouraged to write a sentence describing how they feel about reading. If some students aren't confident about writing things down, they could tell a partner how they feel instead. If younger students have difficulty talking about their experiences of the library, they could show their feelings by drawing a picture of themselves in the library. Is it a happy picture or a sad picture? Activity 4 is a further discussion activity that prompts the students to talk about the wider impact of the library group. They will discuss whether they told the people they live with about what they have been doing in the library, and describe what those they told thought about it. If students have been telling other people about the library, this could help to inspire the rest of their school and community too. In Activity 5, students choose a book from the library that they haven't read and would like to read. The titles of these books are written down on a sheet of paper and can be used as discussion prompts or reading lists for future library sessions. Finally, in Activity 6, all students will draw a picture of themselves in the library to summarise their experience of being part of the Library Nepal project. If possible, use lots of different colours and display these on the library walls. If you don't have pens and paper, students could draw on chalkboards or whiteboards instead. We hope you have enjoyed taking part in the Library Nepal school reading programme and feel inspired and empowered to continue to use your library in creative and educational ways. We wish you every success with continuing to promote reading and a love of books within your school. Remember that the activities provided over the 6 units are suggestions, and you should feel free to adapt them to suit your students and circumstances. All of our worksheets are available for download at www.library-nepal.com. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact us on info@librarynepal.com.